Wow, you've made it this far. Congratulations. By this point, you should have a social media page, you should have a great headshot and bio and highlights, and this is obviously in regard to Instagram. The reason why I talk about Instagram the most is because I want you to visualize an umbrella. When it comes to becoming your own social media presenter, this is crucial. So, umbrella, you know what an umbrella is, right? In terms of becoming your own social media presenter, this is super important. I talk about Instagram quite a lot because Instagram is a really, really good platform, especially when it comes to showcasing yourself as a business, your products, whether it's that or you're trying to grow a strong personal brand. When it comes to Instagram, you want Instagram to be your umbrella stick. Reason being is because it allows you to have highlights, it allows a lot more functions in terms of storytelling, and it also gives you stories, which we'll get into a little bit more soon. But when it comes to Instagram, you want Instagram to be your umbrella stick that branches off to your other platforms, such as TikTok and YouTube. When you understand this, which you do now, visualize Instagram being your umbrella stick that branches off to the rest of your platforms. We talked about having a URL, which you could have as a link tree, your website. Look at Instagram as your umbrella stick that branches out and sends your audience and your shoppers or anybody that's following you in terms of your online community, you want them to be branching out to the rest of the platforms from Instagram. And you do that by directing them elsewhere using the link, having a link tree in the URL. Moving forward, becoming your own social media presenter, it is time. And I can't wait to take you on the rest of the journey of this video. What we're going to be covering is exactly what it takes to becoming your own social media presenter. And what it takes is 3 important things. Time, courage, and discipline are the 3 pillars to ensure that you will one day become your own social media presenter, which you are now ready for. You understand the basics, you know the apps, and you have all the tools and technology you need to be able to ensure that you become your own social media presenter today. Getting in front of the camera is important if you want to grow yourself, business, or personal brand. If you don't want to be in front of the camera and you want somebody else to, maybe you have a product and you have a face behind that product, you can still have this information because it is very, very valuable and it's transferable. And when you know this, you can help educate someone else, or you can implement it straight away for yourself, your business, or your social media platforms. Becoming your own social media presenter, time. Understand that this does not happen overnight. I always tell my students that social media presenters are not born, they are made. You don't need to be a journalist on TV anymore to be a presenter. You could reach thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions by becoming your own social media presenter. You don't need a degree in university anymore to learn this, guys. All you need is an iPhone, a couple of apps, and everything that you've learned so far to become your own social media presenter. When it comes to time, it's going to take a while. Nothing happens overnight. You need to be cautious and you need to be nice and kind to yourself during this process. When I was first thrown in front of the camera, I was insecure. I would touch my hair. I worried about what other people would think. I was also, I couldn't even speak properly. It took me a while. It took me a really long time. And in fact, it took me about 4 months to 7 months before I could say, you know what, I actually like my social media presenting skills now. If I can do it, you can do it. So, becoming your own social media presenter, ensure that you understand it's going to take time. Give yourself time to learn all of these skills. The more you practice, the better. Practice does make perfect, especially when it comes to becoming your own social media presenter. If you're not presenting in front of camera, if you're not getting your phone out when you're walking on your way to the shops, or maybe you've just picked the kids up or you're waiting in the car before they come out of school, get the phone out, press that big red button and just start practicing. The more you talk in front of the camera, the more confident you will become. The less you do it, it's going to take even longer. If you are more on the introverted side, you can start creating videos chuck all of it and assemble it in Splice, and you can use a function that can record the sound of your voice. You record the sound of your voice, and then you stop, and then you keep going until you're happy with it. You don't have to jump in front of the camera to do it and start talking. You can use voice recording options first. But despite that, the quicker you get in front of the camera, the better, because you are going to give yourself more time. The longer it takes for you to not do it, well, you probably might not develop the skills as quickly. A big lesson that I want you to move forward with and understanding when it is the beginning of your journey, becoming your own social media presenter, it's going to take time. It took me 7 months to say, I like my presenting skills now. It's going to take time. Be cautious of time during your journey. Next thing, courage. It takes courage to do this, guys. Me being in front of the camera right now is taking courage. You buying these courses, investing in yourself, and listening to what I have to say right now takes courage. Courage is super important on the journey of becoming your own social media presenter. Because if you don't have courage, you won't be as kind to yourself, especially when it comes to time. All of this is connected. If you understand at the beginning it's going to take a while, you will start developing a lot more courage. If you're not filming out in public in the street yet, or if you're not interviewing people in the street, depending on your type of content and where you want to go using social media, focusing on developing courage is super duper important, because if you don't have courage, you're going to miss opportunities and you're going to start resisting the learning and the process, and you're going to miss out on time. So when it comes to courage, how do you maintain courage? What do you need courage for? Well, it takes courage for getting your phone out, turning on your light ring, and making a video inside of your home office. It also takes courage to get in front of the camera. It takes courage to wake up and make your bed. Courage shows up in many different aspects of our lives, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because if you do not have courage, it's going to prevent you from becoming your own social media presenter, in the sense of you're going to justify, oh, I'm too busy, or I'm just too tired tonight, oh, I'm hungry, I can't be bothered getting my camera out and taking it. Or maybe it comes down to the moment you're about to upload that video. It even takes courage to share your video on all platforms, especially when you were just starting out. I was super duper afraid when I posted my first talking video. It reached 4,000 views, but I was still frightened. I was scared. I didn't have much courage. I had a tiny amount of courage. But thanks to even having that tiny amount of courage, I was able to upload that video, and now I am sitting in front of camera, living my life, living my dream life, doing what it is I love using social media. So, courage and time, super valuable, super important. Make sure you note it, make sure you implement it, and create strategies and ways around it to ensure that you are living your life by that during the process of becoming your own social media presenter. Moving forward, the last thing, discipline. It takes discipline to keep this going, guys, and it's going to take discipline all the way to the very end. I know people with 1,400,000 something followers, 1.5 million followers. I know people with 3 million followers, but without discipline, they wouldn't be where they are today. What is discipline? How does discipline help you becoming your own social media presenter, you may ask? Well, if you don't have discipline to keep the journey going, you will lack courage. And when you lack courage, it impacts your time. These three things work together. And if you can understand that it's going to take a while, talk to yourself nicely and ensure that you're building enough courage that's going to post and help you post that first video, all the way to discipline. I'm going to keep this going, and I'm going to keep this going for 6 months. I'm just going to keep going. 6 months is my goal. I'm going to keep going no matter what. That's what discipline looks like. Discipline is a long-term game. And if you don't have discipline, it's going to impact the rest of these very important things. I'm unraveling this for you before we get into content, because if you don't understand this now, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder to maintain the journey. So in a nutshell, becoming your own social media presenter takes those 3 things. And if you can master those 3 things and start implementing them as soon as possible, you are going to become your own social media presenter. You may now move on to the next video.